Welcome, my dear learners, for this course on heat transfer. In this module 3, we were discussing on numerical analysis in heat transfer and radiation heat transfer. In our previous lecture, I have introduced you people to the concept of formulation of finite difference method, and also I have discussed about the boundary conditions. Moving ahead, our discussion on numerical analysis in heat transfer. In today's lecture, I am going to solve numerical problems. The problem number 1 of our discussion states that consider the square of figure A. The prescribed temperature at the boundary are indicated in the figure. Compute the temperature at various nodes and the heat flow. So he has given figure A for us. He has given the prescribed temperature boundary condition for this figure, and he is stating it is a square for which delta x is equal to delta y. Now I want to determine the temperature at node points 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let us solve this problem. If I move for solution of problem number 1, now the equation for temperature for an interior node or for a node which is subject for convection or for a corner node which is subject for convection from both the sides I have derived in our previous lecture. So if you have forgotten, no need to worry. Referring to our heat and mass transfer data handbook written by C.P. Kothandaraman from page number 55, we have the equations for temperature. So therefore, from page number 55 of HMT data handbook, written by C.P. Kothandaraman, in 8th edition, which we are following, for an interior node, the temperature distribution at interior node is given by the average of temperature of 4 enclosing neighboring nodes, that is m minus 1 comma n plus m plus 1 comma n plus m comma n minus 1 m comma n plus 1 whole divided by 4. So this is the expression for temperature for an interior node. So using which I can formulate the equation for temperature as, so I can write for T1, 4 T1 is equal to, for T1 we have nodes 2, 3, 500 and 100. So therefore I can write this as 4 T1 is equal to 100 plus T2 plus T3 plus 500. Similarly, for node 2, if I write, I can write it as 4 T2 is equal to T1 plus 100 plus T4 plus 500. Similarly, for node 3, if I write, I can write it as 4 T3 is equal to 100 plus T4 plus 100 plus T1. Similarly, for node 4, if I write 4 T4 is equal to T3 plus 100 plus 100 plus T2. So we have 4 equations with 4 unknowns. Now if I can represent this in matrix form as, so the unknowns are T1, T2, T3, T4, T1, T2, T3 and T4. This is equal to, I write the known values this side and also the coefficients here, so that I will formulate it as Ax is equal to B. So coefficient of T1 is 4. So take it to left hand side, minus 100, minus T2, minus T2, minus T3. We don't have T4, we have minus 600. So if I take it to right hand side, it is plus 600. Now coming for T2, the coefficient is 4, whereas coefficient of T1 is minus 1 and T3 is missing. We have T4, the coefficient is minus 1 and we have the sum as 600. Next, here the coefficient of T3 is 4. We have T1 and T4, which is -1 and -1. We don't have T2. The sum is equal to 200. And finally for T4, coefficient of T4 is 4. T3 -1, T2 is -1. We don't have T1. The sum is 200. So therefore, I represent these 4 equations in matrix form. So this is of the form Ax is equal to B. Now if I solve this matrix, I will get the answer. Now to solve this matrix, you can employ any of the techniques that you know. That is, I can do A inverse and find the value. A inverse is equal to adjoint A by determinant of A. Or I can use any numerical techniques. That is, Gauss elimination method, Gauss Seidel method, Gauss Jordan method. So I will employ Gauss elimination technique to solve this matrix. So therefore, let us solve for T1, T2, T3, T4 by using Gauss elimination. So from Gauss elimination, so in step 1, so I'll make the key element as 1. So therefore, R1 tends to R1 by 4, and I write remaining as it is. So therefore, I'll get the matrix as 1 minus 0.25 minus 0.25 0. We have T1 and 600 by 4 is 150. And remaining terms I'll write as it is: minus 1, 4, 0, minus 1, minus 1, 0, 4, minus 1, 0, minus 1, minus 1, 4. We have T1, T2, T3, T4, which is equal to 150, 600, 200 and 200. So this is what we have. Now by using row 1, I should make all the elements in the first column as 0. So for row 4 we already have 0, no need to worry. So these two rows should be made as 0 in the first column. So therefore in step 2, I make the row operation as R2 tends to R2 plus R1 and R3 tends to R3 plus R1. So thereby these two will become 0. Minus 1 plus 1 is 0, minus 1 plus 1 is 0. So therefore if I perform operation, I will end up with 1 minus 0.25 minus 0.25 0. So here I will get 0. 4 minus 0.25. 4 minus 0.25 is 3.75. So 0 plus of minus is minus, minus 0.25 minus 1, 0 is minus 1. So here I will get 0. 0 minus 0.25 is minus 0.25. 4 minus 0.25 is 3.75. Minus 1 will remain as it is. Since here I have 0, I am not doing any row operation here. Minus 1, 4. So here I have T1, T2, T3, T4. So this must be equal to, here I have 150. So performing the row operation, it is 600 plus 150, so which is 750. 200 plus 150 is 350. So I have not done anything for row 4. So it is as it is. So this is what I got in step 2. Now in step 3, so this is the key element. So key element should be made as unity. So therefore I'll divide rho 2 throughout by 3.75 in step 3. Rho 2 is throughout divided by 3.75. So thereby I can make this key element as 1, and I'll end up with 1 minus 0.25 minus 0.25 0 0. 3.75 by 3.75 is 1. Next we have minus 0.25 divided by 3.75, which is minus 0.067. Next we have minus 1 by 3.75, which is minus 0.267. So that completes the operation. We have R3 and R4 remains as it is. 3.75 minus 1 and 4. So here I have T1, T2, T3 and T4, which is equal to 150, 350 and 200. So in matrix B also for row 2 we have 750 divided by 3.75, which is 200. So this completes our step 3. I have performed only operation for row 2, wherein which I have made the key element as unity. Now I should make the elements below the key element as 0. These two terms should be made 0. In step 4, I will perform the operation as R3 and R4. So R3 tends to R3 minus 0.25. So therefore I will make it as plus 0.25 times R2. Here I have minus 1. So therefore it is R4 plus R2. R4 plus R2. Minus 1 plus 1 will become 0. Minus 0.25 plus 0.25 will become 0. So thereby I can make these two elements as 0. So moving ahead for forward elimination. We have first two rows remains as it is. So for simplicity, I won't write T1, T2, T3, T4. First two rows remains as it is. 1 minus 0.25 minus 0.25 0 and 150. Second row we have 0 1 minus 0.067 minus 0.267 and we have 200. Let us perform the operation. So I get here also I get 0 and 0. So now 3.75 plus 0.25 into minus 0.067, which is nothing but 3.733. Next we have minus 1 plus 0.25 into minus 0.267, which is nothing but minus 1.067. Next we have 350 plus 0.25 into 200, which is 400. Next, coming for row 4, we have minus 1 plus of minus 0.067, which is minus 1.067. 4 plus of minus 0.267, which is nothing but 3.73. we have 200 plus 200, which is 400. So this completes step 3. Now in step 4, I should make this key element as unity. So I make this key element as unity. So therefore, in step 4, I will do R3 tends to R3 by 3.73. So therefore, I will get 1 minus 0.25 minus 0.25 0 150 0 1 minus 0.067 minus 0.267 200. Row 4 I am not doing anything, so therefore I will write it as it is 3.73 and 400. So we have 0 and 0. 3.73 by 3.73 is 1 minus 1.067 divided by 3.73 is minus 0.286 minus 0.286. Next we have 400 by 3.73, that is 107. So moving for the final step, I should make this term as 0. So therefore, in step 5, I should make this term as 0. So therefore, R4 tends to R4 plus 1.067 R3. So the final matrix I am going to get is 1 minus 0.25 minus 0.25 0 0 1 minus 0.067 minus 0.267 0 0 1 minus 0.286 0 0. So this will also become 0. We have 150, 200, 107. So finally R4 3.73 plus 1.067 into R3 is minus 0.286, that is 3.42, and finally we have 400 plus 1.067 into 107, which is 514. So this completes the forward elimination in Gauss elimination technique. It is very simple. So use A11 as a key element and make all the elements below A11 as 0. That is what I have done. I made key element as 1, below which I made everything as 0. Next move for A22 and below A22 make everything as 0. So I made A22 as unity and then I made below A22 all the elements as 0. Next move for A33, make it as unity and below which you make everything as 0. I made A33 as unity, below which I made it as 0. So it is very easier. Just make A11, A22, A33 as unity and below A11 make all the elements as 0, below A22 make all the elements as 0, below A33 make all the elements as 0. So finally you will get the matrix, which is upper triangular matrix, which can be easily solved by back substitution. So we have done forward elimination. Now if I go for backward substitution, I will get the answer as, so from step 5 I will get the answers as, so now from backward substitution I take this matrix and write it properly, which we have found out in step 5 as 1 minus 0.25 minus 0.25 0 0 1 minus 0.067 minus 0.27 001 minus 0.286 000 3.42. We have temperatures T1, T2, T3, T4, which is equal to 150, 200, 107, 514. So now from backward substitution from equation 4, T4 will be 514 by 3.42, which is nothing but 150. So therefore T4 is 150 degrees Celsius. Now I know the value of T4. I can find T3 from equation 3, that is T3 is equal to 107 plus 0.286 into 150, which is nothing but, again I will get the answer as 150. T3 is also 150 degrees Celsius. I know T3 and T4. I can find T2 from equation 2. From equation 2, T2 will become 200 plus 0.067 into 150 plus 0.27 into 150, which is nothing but 250. T2 is 250 degrees Celsius. And finally T1 from equation 1 will be 150 plus 0.25 into 250 plus 0.25 into 150, which is 250. T1 is also equal to 250 degrees Celsius. So we have done forward elimination and finally we have done backward substitution to find the values of temperatures at nodes. So temperature at node number 1 and 2 is 250 degrees Celsius. At node number 3 and 4 it is 150 degrees Celsius. Now he has asked us to calculate the heat flow. So therefore heat is entering from 500 degrees Celsius phase and is leaving from 100 degrees Celsius phase. So therefore heat entering from 500 degrees Celsius phase will be Q is equal to minus K. A is delta X into temperature difference by dt by dy over the length dy. The temperature difference will be T1 minus 500. So it is T1 is 250 minus T2 minus 500. T2 is also 250 minus 500. So therefore heat entering will be 250 minus 500 is 250. 250 plus 250 is 500. Minus of minus is plus. So therefore it is 500 times thermal conductivity. Now heat is leaving from all the three phases. Let us check whether the heat balance is happening or not. Heat leaving from 100 degrees Celsius phases is computed as minus K. It is leaving in delta y direction over the length delta x. So for square delta x is equal to delta y. Let me take the difference from here. It is T1 minus 100. T1 is 150 minus 100 plus T3 minus 100. T3 is 150 minus 100. Sorry, T1 is 250. 250 minus 100. T3 is 150 minus 100. Next, from this phase, T2 minus 100. T2 is 250 minus 100 plus T4 minus 100. T4 minus 100 plus from bottom face it is T3 minus T, it is 150 minus 100 and 150 minus 100. So therefore heat leaving will be 150 plus 50 plus 150 plus 50 plus 100, which is 500. So therefore the answer is correct. It is minus 500 times thermal conductivity. So we have found out the heat balance also. So therefore the temperature distribution what we have calculated is also correct. So this is how one should solve numerical problems on heat transfer by using finite difference method. First we should formulate the equations, and once we formulate the equations then we should form the matrix form. So once we have the matrix form Ax is equal to B, it is left to you people. Whichever method is convenient to you, use that method to solve this matrix, find the temperature distribution. I have used Gauss elimination method, which is forward elimination and backward substitution to get the answer. You can also use Gauss-Seidel, Gauss-Jordan, or just matrix inversion technique. So invert this matrix, find the A inverse. So multiplying A into B, you will get the value of X, that is temperature at nodal points. So I solved problem number 1. You people can try out problem number 2. But one very important condition in problem number 2 is that it is subject for various boundary conditions. You should apply the boundary conditions properly. Try to solve problem number 2 yourself. Anyhow, I am going to solve problem number 2 in our next lecture.